Jim and Terry Show coming to you from the Hobbit Hole Studio in Boccageon. It's a sunny day today, unlike the thunderstorms of a day or so ago. Things are brewing, not just in the coffee pot, but in the nation, in the world. Things seem a little askew, a little half a bubble off center kind of stuff. It's not just that the U.S. midterms are coming up. It's not just that FIFA is now into the 16 round and Canada is there. Sidebar note, rah, rah, Canada. First time, a lot of firsts for the men, but a shout out to Canada's women who have been leading the way in things like rugby and soccer and other team sports. Women's sports have really shown the way towards excellence, so I'm hoping the men can follow suit. So FIFA is a welcome distraction at a time when insanity seems to reign. And whenever we're talking about these kinds of things, we're not talking about Gaza. We're not talking about Ukraine. And that to me is sad, because every time the power goes out here, I keep thinking, at least I'm not in a war zone. At least I'm not in a war zone. And that empathy has to be front and center. Each and every day I wake up and say, thank you. And I'm not sure what I'm saying thank you to, who I'm saying thank you to. I'm just thankful that my existence is not in the same frame as some other people. And I do carry that mantra, but nevertheless, by the grace of God, that could be us. I'm not sure that I'm attributing God. I think humans have agency, and I'm not sure about the God part of that expression, just to say, I am mindful. There are those who have not, and there are those who wish they had, those who we, through policy decisions, could have, and I want to sort all that out to the best of my ability, using the limited resources that I have, make my decisions count each and every day, in a positive way. Support our local farmers, support the local markets, support those who grow our food. In every way that we can, do the things that matter to help people, not step on people, not push people down. So that's basically the framework of understanding. I'm not sure where I was going to go with this, except I was investigating what I call through lines. Can I find a thread, a connection? So in this case, I wanted to find a money and power through line from the likes of Peter Thiel, MAGA, Trump, SCOTUS, conservative PICs, fundraising groups, Citizens United, Charlie Kirk's organization, America First Resurgence, Project 2025, the NAR, New Apostolic Reform. Is there something they all share? And you know who is able to sort through lines really well? And this is great for people who study history and other sociology, anthropology, psychology, who look for these trends, sifting through all the reams of public domain information. AI does it very well, but AI can have a bias. It has two kinds. One is a built-in sycophantic bias. Where's my good friend Jim? Jim, can we say that twice or three times quickly? Sycophants. Jim's using that word in a new song, so I can't wait to hear that application. He's quoted the lyrics for me, but I haven't heard the tune necessarily. Sycophants. Yes, your AI can be a sycophant, a rah-rah cheerleader telling you only what you want to hear, or words that will make you feel good about what you've said or who you are. So AI has that kind of a bias, but it also has a bias in the present tense, which means you could be talking for months, weeks, years to AI about something using their large language model. And in my case, it's Gemini. But it has a bias towards the present. That means it not forgets in the way that human memory works, but it doesn't couch. If I type a question right now, it will use the question only based upon the previous question's context, and it won't. I have to tell it that it's an unrelated sidebar question. Don't use this. This is just between you and me. I was thinking, sort of thing. So you got to watch how you manage AI. It is not all that it's cracked up to be. It could be, but it isn't at the moment. And I am mindful that the strike in Iran that took out the children, the girls' school, Grok was used in the planning and development of that strike. And I'm wondering to what extent AI had a bias towards something. I don't know what, but maybe it wasn't all that it's supposed to be. But Grok was used, and that is Elon Musk's baby. So to what extent is Elon Musk into the military-industrial complex of America? And beware, America, when you choose to tie all your capabilities to a one-trick pony, I think you're in trouble. You might need SpaceX for deliverables to space in large quantities, large mass to orbit. But please be careful. Keep NASA well-funded. Keep alternatives open. I don't know where I'm going with all of that. But my question was, can we draw a through line through all of those people that I just mentioned? And the answer was that the money/power through line that I was describing in my question is a well-documented network of influence that connects donors, ideological infrastructure, think tanks, grassroots mobilization networks such as PACs, Charlie Kirk's own organization, and the institutional power such as SCOTUS and the executive branch. While these entities have different origins, some are libertarian technocratics, like Peter Thiel. Some are populist nationalists, such as MAGA. Others are deeply far-right religious dominionists, such as the NAR, New Apostolic Reformed Church, which is Hegseth's pastor's church. They have converged around a shared project of restructuring American society. Hello, sound the alarms, 5-alarm fire. When all of these disparate groups are aligning, there seems to be something to be concerned about. And it goes on to document something called the network architecture. You can view this not as a single organization, but as an ecosystem of influence where capital and ideology flow in a symbiotic loop. There's capital, that means the fundraiser, the donors, the technocratic billionaires, the techno-right. They provide cover because they want the freedom to do all kinds of stuff beyond the regulation and regulatory purview of Congress or the Senate. They don't want to be held accountable. They just release the hounds, says, I don't even know who the character was. I was going to say Smithers, but Smithers is the guy who gets to do the orders. Grassroots Engine, the Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, PACs, these organizations function as the boots on the ground, mobilizing. That's how you swing elections, really, by boots on the ground, by putting people in front of people where you can take your points and have a discussion. When that taking it to the streets becomes angry and more transcends rhetoric and becomes individual actions, as in, I'm going to take my gun to this protest, that becomes troublesome. So the grassroots engine become a mobilized paramilitary. Theological justification, the Christian nationalists and the NAR, New Apostolic Reform, and dominionist groups provide a spiritual cover for all of these activities. They call it cosmic warfare. We're doing God's duty, God's work. God's going to preserve America. God has his hands on America. And this kind of attitude turns political participation into a divine duty. And so you find some collusion between pulpit messages and political podium messages. And when that happens, it can never end well. And we do have the institutional side of this thing, the SCOTUS and the executive, where the money and ideology meet the reality of governance. And the networks that I mentioned in my question vet and support and forward prompt judicial candidates, which have to be approved. Now, who's at the bottom of all this? Usually the Federalist Society, which is a conservative think tank, although there are think tanks on the left and in the center as well. But ideology seems to be the common thread, and it is definitely not a healthy thing when they all go together into Russ Vought thing, the Project 2025, and he's now in government. And if you haven't heard of the Seven Mountains connection, occupying government, media, education, business. They aim to create a Christian-led America. And that can be a problem. In a multicultural country where immigration is the heartbeat of wellness and growth, this is not good. So there you go, using AI to sort of analyze a whole bunch of public record. But you got to check and keep on asking AI to falsify everything that you ask. It's the question of the I, Robot movie and the character who asked Will Smith that detective is the right question. In history, in the study of history, we learn to ask the right question. The right question leads to better questions, leads to better answers, leads to more questions, and on we go. Asking questions, keeping it real. The Jim and Terry Show. Bye-bye for now.
It's complicated, this relationship I have with my morning coffee. It's from the way that I